Hello, everybody, and thank you, Vlad, for kind introduction of myself. And my name is Hiroshi Ozaki. Thank you very much, Regulation IGF, to have me today. So it's my opportunity to do our opening remarks. So I prepared the brief presentation of what's the big picture of the thin climb and thin climb control situation in Japan, and I'd like to touch on a little bit the POC project we are supporting, and on the MLCFT shared platform using the some new advanced technology such as the machine learning. So I'd like to open up the okay. So could you go to the first page? Yes, this is the big picture of the money laundering and terrorist financing risk in Japan. So National Risk Assessment of Japan, it is issued annual basis, and the almost end of the November or early December every year by a National Police Agency. So and it identify the three key risk factors or players, bad guys, groups of the highest threats in Japan, such as the Boryokudan, it's a Yakuza organized crime group in Japan, and the organized crime groups overseas, and specialized fraud groups. So specialized fraud is a kind of the basic one, like a telephone scam, and some using the technology to capture and steal the some password and account information in the net environment. And also regarding the materiality and who is playing a main role to detect and defend the network is the banking sector, because they having been considering the number of the STR and other factors such as the threats the industry facing, and also sorry, my cat is jumping on my head, so because I'm reaching from home, so he's joining sometime, but please don't be afraid of it. He's a very friendly cat. Anyway, so where am I? Okay, so the banking sector carries the most significant risk weight in Japan, followed by the money service businesses and virtual asset service providers. So the three highest risk industry is the banking sector, and that is the biggest one. And also the MSBs and BASPs are the biggest industry that facing the biggest risk in money laundering and terrorist financing area in Japan. And regarding the Boryokudan, so after the long time effort by the financial industry and law enforcement agencies and citizens, the decreasing the number of the designated Boryokudan member in Japan has been continuously decreasing in 10 years from 78,600 at the end of the 2010, and currently 28,200 at the end of the 2020. And also, I'd like to ask to have a look of the box in the left bottom. So that is the trend of the submission number of the STR or SAR. So the number is increasing, and the trend is going on, so it's reaching kind of the ceiling, like over the 400,000. And the 90%, almost 90% of the total number of the submission of STR coming from the banking sector. That's the one factor, as I mentioned. The banking sector is facing a biggest threat of the money laundering and terrorist financing. And after the efforts, they have, and we have the outcome of the decreased trend of the damage, financial damage from the specialized fraud. That is showing in the light down box, and the bar chart is showing the decreasing trend of the captured and freezed financial damage. And also the line and dot trend is showing the increasing trend is the number of arrests of the financial specialized fraud criminals. So the STR submission increasing, and law enforcement agencies use their very good information of their background check and like a trigger to start the investigation, and the arrest of the financial crime is increasing and damage is decreasing. So make a long story short, so we are in the middle of the process to showing some winning of the specialized fraud. That is the biggest one. But the typology is changing. So bad guys are always or sometimes clever, smart guys, and they're using the new technologies, and the typology is changing. So after in the middle of the COVID pandemic, they will use the so many situations and events as a leverage to make their trials to steal the money and transfer the illicit fund to the account to account. And so that's why it's a continuous effort and fight with the criminals like that. So we are winning, but the new trend and the new typology is coming, and it's a never-ending story, and a dynamic process is required to fight with these bad guys. That's the big picture. So could you go to the next page, please? Thank you. So that's the what I said, and especially in the banking sector, the system is playing a very important role, like a transaction monitoring system and transaction screening system. So a transaction monitoring system, as you may know, and as you are of course knowing, that they are detecting the suspicious or unusual transaction, and in order to report the STR, SAR to FIU through the supervised ministry or competent authorities afterwards, the transaction. And on the other hand of the transaction monitoring, the transaction screening is the filtering function before transaction proceeded. So the obliged entity have to filter or detect and check and stop or reject if they find some designated person or unforbidden or not allowed to do a business kind of the entity or persons. So this process is a combination, and it's a going on process, and that's the very important functions in the detection and reporting to the transactions of the suspicious or unusual and the listed one. But challenges also are coming out in this usage of these kind of the systems. So and also the like a side effect kind of things during the fight with the money laundering and the terrorist financing for the obliged entities, especially financial institutions, is the increasing cost. That's the pain in the neck. And the cost of ML CFT control is increasing and may increase in the future in the investment to the IT system, digitalization, and data collection, and maintenance human resources who can handle or modify or enhance these systems. And also there's the legacy systems, and transformation cost or the integration cost with the legacy system and database to a new system is also pains in the neck in the financial institution. So I'd like to touch on a little bit about the cost of the ML-CFT in the next page. Could you go to the next page, please? So this is not our survey, but a survey of the thin crime control cost by a private sector. So it's a LexisNexis risk solution. So the one figure caught my eyes. That is projected total cost of the financial crime compliance across all financial institutions in the study. It's a global study. Is 213.9 billion US dollar equivalent, and that amount is increasing, and that's the observation of this survey. So I cannot say this is accurate or not, but this is a kind of the survey. So this is one aspect of the cost and the burden for obliged entity, and especially the financial institution and industry is getting large and heavy. So that is very important aspect. The regulator and the supervisor have to pay attention. So, and also a COVID-19 pandemic is putting another cost to the financial industries. So, and could you go to the next page? And as you know, this is a picture of the outline of the risk-based ML-CFT regime. So starting from the risk identification and risk evaluation or assessment, and putting the litigation measures to reduce the risks, and based on the risk assessment. So, and also the prevention measure is they are such as the transaction filtering and transaction monitoring and STR reporting and record keeping, like that. So this is a big picture, and just for your information, and the mitigation measures are heavily based on their systems, and the database is the transaction filtering and transaction monitoring. And as I said, that the cost of the implementation and the maintenance is increasing. That's the pain point for the industry. So could you go to the next slide? And also the false positive rate. So is also a big headache. So this is the main part of the cost. It's a human intensive to open the case and do the investigation and the researches. And so detection by system is a kind of the large net. So they do not have to miss the small fish. And how to make the hole and the net is the key of the maintenance. But anyway, so the false positive rate is the highlight, like last paragraph of this slide is showing. This is also the summary of the some surveys by private firms. So, and it's around 70 to 95% of the STR detection, the transaction monitoring or transaction screening system detected false positives. So 30 to 5 out of 100 detection by the system, only these small numbers goes to STR. And out of them goes to be helpful information for their investigation by the law enforcement agency. So it's a big population by the detection of the system, and it's going to very narrow. So many false positive during the this process is a kind of also a headache of the financial institution. That's also the very important point. The supervisory or competent authority have to pay more attention. So one solution, one possible or potential solution is the shared services using the new technology for transaction monitoring and transaction system. That's the what we are doing. So please go on to the next page. And also FATF issued the report. The title is Opportunity and Challenges of the New Technology for AML-CFT. in July 2021, this year. So in paragraph 10, they are saying a very important message. And also, JFSA AML CFT guideline is clearly mentioning that the new technology, such as artificial intelligence or blockchain technology, are used in the various phases of the AML CFT to improve the effectiveness of controls, including the identification or verification at the time of the transaction and detection and reporting the suspicious transaction, what I previously mentioned. So in our guideline, since the February 2018, we are focusing on the merit and the bright side of the new technology to support or implement or increase the effectiveness and efficiency of the AML CFT systems and regimes. So please go to the next page. And this is the, like a big picture of the POC project. Last year, the Japanese Bankers Association and other consortium group have done last year. So the several banks, it's a mini system, and putting the transaction data in a segregated database. That's a very important part, and the information not mixed in that database. It's separately controlled and never mixed up. And also transaction screening and transaction monitoring have been done, use the machine learning technologies, and outcome to the analysis by the algorithm is showed with the scoring of the submission, like 0 to 100, so 95% of the submission, and with the reason like blah, blah, blah. So that's the good help of the final decision of the financial institution. So this platform will receive the transaction data and analyze and feed them back the outcome of the score and explanation, narrative explanation. So that's the the POC project, and that was successful. And now Japanese Bankers Association are in a phase of the implementation, how to implement these mean system to worldwide, not industry-wide, not worldwide yet, industry-wide the platform and put in action. But that's the current situation. And could you go to the next page? And this is the also description of the outline of the POC project by Japanese Bankers Association have done last year, and it is also referred in the FATF document. Title is New Energy and Industry Technology Development. What is the title? There is no title. It's a kind of the, I missed the title. It's a kind of the, please go to the next page. One more. Next page. Oh, yes, this is the one. Sorry. The stock take report on data pooling and the collaborative analytics and the data protection by FATF issued in July 2021. There is a box 4.2. That's the summary of the POC project the Japanese Bankers Association and other affiliates have done last year. And JFSA is strongly supporting from the beginning of this POC, and they are now in the process of considering seriously how to implement this platform in industry-wide and in action. So that's what we are doing. And sorry, I don't have any time, and I will wrap up now. But thank you very much for hearing me out. Thank you.